Hey guys, I'm back with a new video. In this video, let us learn about styling images in CSS. In this video, let us first understand about the image types and formats. So in computer graphics, we basically have two types of images. First is the raster images. And second one is the vector images. Now the raster images are made up of pixels. And the vector images are defined using points that are present on a plane which are connected by lines and curves to form polygons and other shapes. So we use raster images for things like photos, and we use vector images for creating logos, or you can say illustrations. And layouts. Now the second thing that you need to make a note of is that the raster images have the format JPG, PNG or GIF, and they are composed of pixels. Now for raster images, larger the image, more pixels we will need and larger will be the file size. On our website, we don't want to serve large images because downloading them can take a lot of time. Now also the images that are too small should also not be served because they look blurry when you resize them to larger dimensions. Now contrary to this, we have the vector images, which we normally create using a software called as Illustrator or any tool that allows us to draw an image and export it as an SVG file. So SVG is short for Scalable Vector Graphics. And they always look sharp and of high quality at any dimension. So even if you scale it up, they don't lose their quality and they appear sharp even at higher dimensions. So let us understand the difference visually through an example. So see this example where it shows the Twitter logo. So the very first one, if you can see, the image size, if increased in size, it's still smooth, right? For the PNG image, if you increase the size, it looks a bit blurry. So now let us understand different types of images that we have in HTML. So first we have the content images and then we have the background images. So let us first understand about the content images. So let us go right inside the CSS folder and create a new folder, images. Now head over to 9.images folder and create a new folder and name it as IMG. And inside the IMG folder, I have already downloaded some royalty-free images which you can grab from pixabay.com. So let me paste them right inside the IMG folder. So the first one is chairs.jpg and the second one is interior.jpg. Now right inside the 9.images folder, create a new file and name it as index.html. So right here, let us quickly scaffold our basic HTML boilerplate. So type exclamation and press tab, and let us give the title as styling images in CSS. Next, let us add the link for the style sheet for this HTML file. So go ahead and create a new file inside the images folder and name it as styles.css. And let us add a link for it right here. So styles.css. Now right inside the body tag, let us define an image element. Now each image element, as we know by now, should have two attributes, the src attribute and the alt attribute. So let us add the image element. So let us set the src attribute to img/interior.jpg and the alt attribute, which is short for alternative text, to the description of this image, interior design. So let us give this a preview. So currently you can see that the image looks too big. So let us head over to our CSS file and define a CSS rule for our image. So right here, let us target the image element and give it a width of 400 pixels, a height of 400 pixels. Now to give round corners to our image, let us set the border radius to 5 pixels. Next, let us give this an opacity of 0.6 and give this a preview. So this is how it looks. Next, let us talk about the background images. So we use background images for decoration purposes. For example, we can apply a background to our body element, to a section, and so on. Now to define a background image for our body element, let us define a new CSS rule for the body element. So target the body element. Now to apply a background image to the body element, we can either use the background image property or the background property. So let us go with background. Now to load an image, we need to invoke the URL function, and inside it we specify the relative or the absolute path for the image that we want to load as the background. So /img/chairs.jpg. So let us give this a preview, and this is what we get. So this is the actual image, but as you can see, there is horizontal as well as vertical repetition of the image. Let us remove these repetitions that are there along both the dimensions. So for this, we have a CSS property called as the background repeat. So let us set the background repeat property to no repeat. So let us again give this a preview. So with this, we get rid of the horizontal and vertical repetitions of the image. But now you can see that the image that was being used as the background has now shrunk to smaller dimensions. Now sometimes you may want to repeat the background only in one direction. So for repeating the background only in horizontal direction, you can set the background repeat property to repeat -x, which specifies that the repetitions should be along the x-axis or along the horizontal. Similarly, to repeat the background only in vertical direction, you can set the background repeat property to repeat -y, and this is what we get. So let us revert back to no repeat. Now as you can see, by default our background is placed at the top left corner of its container, which in this case is the body element. But we can change the position of the background very easily. So for this, we can use the background position property. Now here we need to specify two values, one for the horizontal adjustment and the other for the vertical adjustment. So let us push the background 50 pixels to the right and 50 pixels down. You can also specify negative values for background position to push it to the left or up. So save the changes and give this a preview, and this is what we get. Next, we can also change the size of our background image. So we can set the background size again to two values. So background size, one for the width and the other for the height. So let us set the width to 300 pixels and height to 300 pixels as well, and give this a preview. So this is how it looks now. Let me increase the dimensions. So 700 pixels and 900 pixels. So this was all I wanted to cover about content and background images. In the next video, we will learn about clipping and filters in CSS. So let's catch up in the very next one.